In this video, I'm going to demonstrate to you how to capture the responses of drivers, how to set configuration parameters and visualize past captures. I have already logged into the front panel application and I'm in setup mode, which is why I can see the web application for calibration. I've already set my volume levels appropriately and I'm in the Identify Drivers tab, and I'm using the capture icon at the top here on the right. And I'm going to start by capturing the tweeter. It's on the left side. At this point I can choose whether I'm doing the left or the right side. So I'm going to do the left side speaker tweeter. I'm now waiting for the system to compute the impulse response or the response of that driver. Once it's complete, it will display in blue here. And I can now move on to enabling my mid and moving the microphone to that location. And now I can chirp that driver. I can move to the woofer by moving the microphone. And now that the mid has finished, it's displayed and I can capture the woofer. So here is all of the three drivers captured, the impulse responses in the magnitude frequency domain here. We want to now look at configuration parameters, and the first configuration parameter is the trim point. The trim point determines the point where we're truncating the first reflection. So for example, if I truncate the first reflection way back at around 3 milliseconds, I can get very nicely smooth lines. However, I lose base resolution. Now, if I do the opposite extreme, I'm going to get a lot of reverberation and a lot of base resolution, which you can see here. You want to find a happy point between the two, and in the ideal situation, you would take your speakers into a large room or outside where you can get a very large time delay between chirping and the first reflection, which would allow you to get a very clean, non-reverberant signature of the drivers that you are measuring. The second configuration parameter is the boost. That's the amount of gain that we're in dB that we're allowing the system to amplify by, in this case 10 dB. The attenuation is set to 20 dB in this case. That's the amount we can pull down resonances in the drivers by. And we've set our minimum correction frequency to 20 kilohertz. And in this case, we've set our maximum correction or calibration frequency to 20 kilohertz. And we're going to set the smoothing in this case to 0.9. At this point, we're ready to upload our driver. So I'm going to call it a 3-way ISR left B driver, and I will upload that driver by clicking on this. The system has uploaded that to the cloud, and we're now waiting for the cloud to process the data, and this can take quite some time, sometimes 30 seconds or more. And we wait until the system indicates by flipping to the Create a Speaker tab that is completed the computation of those drivers, which it has done now. Back to the Identify Drivers page. We can still see the captured measurements and look at them as we proceed through the various stages of speaker calibration. However, we can look at impulse responses of speaker drivers by clicking on this bottom right icon there, and it shows us the previously captured signals. Now, because sometimes you can have a large number of measurements, we always show the measurement that you just captured here as at the first spot. But you'll notice that there's a second reference. If I move using the arrows through, there's a second reference. It's the same record. So I can, for example, click on this three-way and look at a past record which has been loaded. When the record loads, I can see the configuration parameters here, and I can look at other records as well and reload the one I just made. Sometimes the trim point is not set correctly, and you can adjust that like that. And you could upload that same record with a different name if you wanted.